Right. So one of the questions I get asked the most often is how do you actually use an AI scribe in a real clinical context? So I wanted to show you how you can use it and how you can make the best out of it. So the AI scribe, obviously, that I'm showing you is Scribe MD, but it's going to be very similar no matter what AI scribe you're using. Um, all right, so the way you get started, so I'm going to show you everything on the computer. Keep in mind that you can essentially do the exact same thing on your phone, and there's going to be another video dedicated to how to do it on your phone. Right now, I'm going to show it on on the computer. Very important. Before doing that, you want to make sure that your computer actually has a microphone, or you can buy an external microphone. And here, by the way, you can see when you log in onto scribemd.ai, you create an account. So I'll skip all that process, but it's pretty straightforward. Then it will give you this view where you can select a microphone. And here you can see that my microphone is actually working because this green thing is moving, right? Um, so what I would definitely recommend if you don't have a microphone is to buy a microphone. You can look up online for ambient microphones so that it can also capture what your patient is saying. And also, in general, when you use your phone, I say that you should be 6 to 8 feet at most to anyone speaking. So in case you're using a laptop or you have a computer in the room, just make sure that the patient is not too far away from the computer. Get the computer closer to the patient if possible. Anyway, so when you create an account, you essentially see a screen like that. And I'm just going to walk you through exactly, it can be overwhelming, so exactly what each field mean and how I would personally use it in a clinical context. So obviously, first you want to select the microphone. You want to make sure that the microphone you're selecting is one that's actually moving the needle here. Okay, important, you want to select the language. So by default here, it's in English. In the case of ScribeMD, and it's the case for most AI scribes, um, supports a bunch of different languages. Actually, in the case of ScribeMD, if you're not sure what language is going to be spoken, so let's say you run a clinic and it's a lot of English and Spanish, you can leave it to English and the AI will automatically be able to pick it up. Okay, so here we have two modes. We have what we call visit mode and what we call dictation mode. Uh, Dictation is when you're trying to dictate a note after you talk to a patient. In general, I would recommend, people usually start with dictation, but I actually would recommend to start with visit. Visit is the true ambient scribe experience. It will record the conversation between you and your patient. And whenever you're done, it will generate the notes. It will record the full conversation. All right, so next is this field, very important. This is the note template. So in the case of ScribeMD, and it's true for most AI scribe, this is extremely flexible. So let's say you are a family doctor, or maybe you're a pediatrician, and you do all type of visits. So you do well child visits, you do like ear pain evaluation, like whatever, like a list of different visits. You can create a template for each visit, or you can also use kind of the generic SOAP note template. What I recommend is usually to start with our generic SOAP note template. So you can see here, I created a bunch of myself, but you can also create your own. So here I'm just going to go back to the SOAP note template copy is my copy of it. Um, so here, if you want, you can uh, connect to a patient, or you can just leave that empty. If you connect to a patient, it allows you to do a kind of like longitudinal feedback on specific patients. So if you have multiple visits with the same patient, you can kind of review details that were talked to in the past. Here you can add past medical history. Most of the time you want to leave it empty, and same as consultation context. All right, so now the patient walks into the room. So depending on where you live and where you're talking to a patient, there are different regulation around what you're supposed to tell the patient, what you don't have to tell the patient. But in general, as like a courtesy, I would definitely recommend just telling the patient that they are being recorded. Um, what I usually find the most helpful with patients is to tell them, hey, I'm just going to record the conversation so that I don't have to look at my computer while I'm talking to you. Otherwise, I'm going to be typing away. So I'd rather just focus on you. So is that okay if I record for my own note taking? And most of the time, patient will say yes. If patient has follow-up questions specifically about ScribeMD, you can tell them that the conversation is never recorded for more than 15 days. So after 15 days, everything is fully deleted. Um, and also, depending on your location, the data is going to be treated like it's going to be fully encrypted and using the highest in the US HIPAA and in other jurisdiction different compliance program, but it's going to be like we're obviously taking data security very seriously. And by the way, if that's interesting to you, we do a whole training for clinicians about data privacy and security so that they can also teach their patient where their data is going. But anyway, so let's say now you're telling your patient, is that okay? I'm going to be recording you so that I don't have to take notes while we're talking. And if the patient consents, you can start the consultation here. So I'm going to press start consultation. All right, so please apologize my terrible acting skills. But let's say patient walks in and is complaining with sneezing and a headache. So, okay. Um, and maybe the patient saying that they have a very bad headache, so I'm taking the temperature. It's 102.1. Have there been any sneezing or any coughing? Yes, I've been coughing a lot. Okay. Did you take a COVID test or a flu test? No, I didn't. Okay, so maybe my recommendation here would be to order a COVID and a flu test. We have some in the office. We can give it to you in a minute. Um, Also, actually, um, do you have any trouble breathing, or do you have? No, you don't have any trouble breathing. Um, anyway, you go through your whole conversation with your patients, and once you're done, you're gonna go ahead. So obviously, by the way, you can walk out the conversation and just press pause. Everything is gonna be saved in the cloud for the time being, so that you can go back. What people do very often is they pause here and then they pick it back up on their phone or something. So that's totally an option. Um, and also, if something is not verbalized during the conversation, uh, but you want to make sure it's added to the note, you can also type away here as well. Obviously, the goal of an AI scribe is you don't have to type away, but to type. But here, there's also an option in case something was not explicitly said during the conversation, and you want to make sure you keep note of it. All right, so I'm going to press generate note, and so here it's going to take a few seconds, and it's going to generate a SOAP note. I would say for now you can kind of disregard clinical insight. That's like a new feature that we're building for beta users. But yeah, here you can see it generated a full note. Okay, so sneezing and headache, uh, and has not undergone COVID-19 test. And here the plan is to offer a COVID-19 influenza testing, point of care testing to be performed in office today, which is what I said. So here our default note template is going to really be using short sentences, kind of like bullet points. Uh, if you want more of a narrative style, you'll see it's not on my, oh yeah, it's here. You can use the SOAP note template narrative style, so that will be more like full sentences and whatnot. And you can obviously edit the note here. It's something, if you have it on your phone, you can edit it on your phone. And then when you feel good about it, you can copy and paste it wherever you want. One thing that's very important, so we are obviously integrated with, and that's true for almost every AI scribe these days. Like the EHR integration is pretty wide, at least for ScribeMD. We are integrated with over 50 EHR. So, and if your EHR is not included, feel free to email us. We can probably add it. Um, and so if you're using Epic or Athena or Allscripts, um, what you're gonna do after you sign up and you connect your account, you're gonna see a little button here that says connect to Athena or connect to Epic. When you press here, it will send the data directly to Epic. Epic is a bit of a unusual case, actually Athena as well, because we also have an embedded application within the Epic app, or even within Haiku, the mobile app for Epic. So you would be able to use that as well. But anyway, here the uh, uh, as you can see, so the note is fully working. Um, so a few things that I think here are really important. One, there's a way when you read something and you like the patient reported severe headaches, you can see the full transcription of the conversation. And here you can see when they're reporting headaches. So we see here it looks like a blog because I was the only one speaking, but if there are multiple speakers, it won't look that way. Report severe headaches, you can look at view source. And obviously, when it's a long conversation, sometimes it's kind of hard to remember when the patient said that. So here you can see exactly when the patient said it. Um, Another thing that's I think really interesting is you can use the feature called Ask Scribe MD. So for instance, you can say like, okay, what is the ICD-10 code for this patient? So in that case, it's a bit tricky because there's no definitive diagnosis, but you can see it suggests it's R50.9 or R51.9 for headache. And he says maybe it could be U07.1 for COVID-19, but it's not confirmed. Okay. A few things that I wanted to show you that I think are really important. Number one, note templates. So ScribeMD has over 200 community note templates. So if you are a pediatrician, you can look at like, we have a lot of like pediatric note template here, ENT pediatric, and those are created by our users. And you can kind of like test them out, see if they work for you, or you can create your own. Um, and when you create your own, you're welcome to make it public or you can keep it private for yourself. Uh, 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 we have a whole video about how making note templates, but so I'll keep that for, I'll try to keep this video short. But here, the key to understand is um, the note template at the beginning is going to be a very generic SOAP note. If you do specialized consult and you like things structured in a very specific way, you can always use our customized note template. The only thing is when you integrate with a third-party EHR, you have to make sure that each section matches with a section in your EHR. Another thing I wanted to show you that I think is really important, and I think this is fairly specific to ScribeMD, is we have for each clinician a different adjusted model, meaning that the AI will learn over time from your preferences. So you can see here, and we have the same thing on mobile. There's a thumbs up and the thumbs down on visits. And what I would recommend, especially the first few weeks you're using an AI scribe, is to actually be pretty consistent at giving thumbs up and thumbs up. Why? Because the model will learn based on your feedback. So I'll give you an example. Let's say here you really don't like the fact that you see I don't know, maybe uh, here those are not like full sentences, right? So it's just so you can say you can give feedback and say uh, actually I would rather have full sentences. Um, So feel free to use the pronoun he or she. So I give this feedback, okay? And so another thing, so now the feedback is given, it will also offer me to regenerate the note based on this feedback. So I can press regenerate note and it will regenerate the note. The thing is over time, as you give feedback, the AI will learn from your preferences and will try to add um, pronouns in that case, right? Uh, all right, I hope that's helpful. Um, that's pretty much all like the big feature that I would definitely recommend checking out when you're using an AI Scribe. But yeah, if you have any questions, just um, leave a comment. I'd be happy to address it. And good luck and happy scribing.